In this video, we're going to review some differences on the scheduler between Valant Private Practice Suite and Valant IO. We'll compare both interfaces side by side to highlight updates to the look and feel of the system and familiarize you with Valant IO. But first, I want to ease any concerns you might have about learning a whole new system. You do not need to relearn our software to get started using Valant IO. There are some subtle differences, and we'll review some of those together here. But if you're already familiar with using Valant, transitioning to Valant IO should be a very smooth experience for you and your practice. Let's get started. First, you can see I have two windows open. On the left, I have my Internet Explorer browser open and logged into Private Practice Suite. On the right, I have my Google Chrome browser open and logged into the same account in Valant IO. Remember, your username and password is the same for both Private Practice Suite and IO. I'm going to open my calendar in Private Practice Suite by going to Tools and Scheduler. I'm going to do the same in Valant IO by going to Scheduler, Calendar View. I'm going to just quickly minimize my left-hand menu to give us a little more screen real estate for the purposes of today's demonstration. You can see that overall orientation of the calendar screen is the same between both Private Practice Suite and IO. We have our control panel area on the left-hand side with all our options. We have our schedule detail on the right and view options along the top of the screen, different orientations here. We've added a couple of new views in IO that you might want to explore, including work week and agenda views, depending on your preference. You'll find that most features on the left-hand control panel are the same between Private Practice Suite and IO, but there are some subtle differences I'd like to point out. The Group by Provider or Facility dropdown has now changed to a radio button. You can see in our left-hand panel, we now have that as a radio button rather than a dropdown. Otherwise, the functionality is the same. We've streamlined selecting providers and facilities in Valant IO. You no longer have to click Change View, then go into this screen and switch back and forth, add things back and forth. We can now simply go to the dropdown and select the provider I want, select the facility I want, and you can see how that updates our calendar here. We've also added a new option which allows you to group by date when viewing multiple provider or facility schedules at one time. Let me make this a little bigger just to show you. Right now, I'm looking at Daniel and Polly's calendars. You can see I'm on the week view, and I have group by date turned to yes. You can see I have the date at the top as the top header, and then underneath that I have each provider. So we're looking at Monday altogether, Tuesday altogether. If I ungroup that, it's going to give us the top heading is the provider. We see Daniel now Monday through Sunday, and then we see Polly Monday through Sunday. You'll find that all other functionality on the calendar is really the same between Private Practice Suite and IO. We double-click on the calendar at the preferred start time to create a new appointment and enter the relevant details just like we do in Private Practice Suite. We can click and drag an appointment around to reschedule it, to change start and end time. You can use the double-headed arrow to make it longer or shorter, just like we do in Private Practice Suite. Right-clicking an appointment brings up the same menu we're used to, and options including accepting payment, starting documentation. We have our Easy Nav menu and add one-time measures. You can see that is the same as the options we have here in Private Practice Suite. We have moved the Use Mobile Notes option to the top of the document session menu just because it's the most popular documentation tool in Valant. We've made it a little bit more accessible. I hope you found this video to be helpful in orienting you to some of the differences you'll find on the calendar when using Valant IO. Have a nice day.